All right, let's take a look at what happened in the EPL this particular weekend. What you just saw, of course, was Chelsea against Arsenal. But just before that, let's run over some of the results as it happened this particular weekend. Brentford started as a defeated Burnley 3-1. Manchester City, now this was quite an interesting match as Leeds took the lead. But Pep Guardiola's men were able to fight back and get back to win this particular match. Phil Foden with a goal to start the match at the first minute, and of course another one at the 91st minute, and that was how Manchester City defeated Leeds 3-2. But it remains to be seen if they can push Arsenal all the way when it comes to the title. Sunderland defeated Bournemouth. They also had to come from behind 3-2. This was quite an interesting match here. Newcastle with a 4-1 win away from home against Everton. Voltemade has started quite well, as much as Isak is struggling with Liverpool, but that struggle ended a bit. We'll get to talk about that a little bit later. Tottenham Hotspurs, their woes at home continued. They have a very terrible record at home, and this time the Nigerian boys, we had 3 members of the Super Eagles in this particular team: Calvin Bassey, Alex Iwobi, and of course Samuel Chukwueze were all here as Fulham defeated Tottenham Hotspurs 2-1. And then, of course, this was the one that was quite shocking for me. Crystal Palace have a very formidable record when they are at home. I think in about 15 matches they've not lost, up against Manchester United, scoring the penalty which was retaken to go ahead. I was thinking that Crystal Palace would go on to maybe win, or at the worst case scenario get a draw in this particular match. That didn't happen. Manchester United came from behind, of course, with Ruben Amorim there getting that particular win. A big boost for Manchester United as they defeated Crystal Palace 2-1. Expectedly, Aston Villa against Wolverhampton Wanderers ended 1-0. Now let's take a look at other results there. Nottingham Forest lost at home to Brighton and Hove Albion. It was a 2-0 win for Brighton and Hove Albion. West Ham, Liverpool, we spoke about this one, and Alexander Isak getting the first goal, Cody Gakpo getting the second goal, in as much as he had little touches. But now the question is, can Alexander Isak pick up from this particular stage? And it looks like he might be able to. But the match of the weekend, kudos to Chelsea. A red card in what was like the 38 minutes to Moises Caicedo, who is about one of the best players in this Chelsea team at the moment. But they held on, they kept the fight going, and I must commend how Chelsea play. In fact, this season, this is about the 7th match where they've picked up a red card. Someone said that it seems Chelsea have been playing with 10 men so they can know how to how to tackle teams when they are a man down. And it so happened that Arsenal could not take advantage of that particular extra man, as it were, on the pitch. Let's take a look at some of the stats. Despite a 61.7% possession, which they had, talking about the possession here, 61.7 up against a 38 for Chelsea, and they're looking at the XG 1.26 over 0.79. A big shout out has to be given to keeper Sanchez, who on that particular day, point blank saves. If you saw him when the balls came close to him, his save ratio was just on point. Sanchez doing quite very well with that particular one. Total shots, Chelsea even had more, right? Shots on target 4 up against 4, corners 3 up against 3. Big the saves here. And yes, this is why I want to talk about Sanchez and that performance which he gave there. Quite a good performance. The goal, of course, for Chelsea came via a set piece. People call Arsenal set piece FC, and it was quite incidental that they considered via a set piece. A corner to Chalobah, pushed it to the back post as they wanted to give a pass, but then it went straight into the net. Wonderful way for them. But then Arsenal, of course, with their own, you know how they did. Mikel Merino playing that false 9. Also with the header. If you look at that point, I think Chelsea didn't defend well at that point, letting Malo Gusto alone against those 2 Arsenal players, and that was how Arsenal were able to come back into that game with Mikel Merino giving them that particular, goal to equalize. So yeah, that's the tail of the tape when it comes to this particular match, Chelsea against Arsenal. They gave us quite a match, and I must say that at this particular point, Chelsea would join Manchester City and Arsenal as contenders for the title. All right.